Hi, this is just Paul. This is a goalkeeping tutorial video on how to be a goalkeeper on pro clubs, and hopefully it'll help you guys out that are starting out as a goalkeeper. I've been asked, a load of people ask me how they do it, how to do it, and how to be a goalkeeper, what buttons to press, and hopefully I'll be able to tell you what you need to know if you're starting out as a goalkeeper anyway. But these are the main things you need to know straight away. That's the build I use, and that's the rating I am right now. I was 6'6", and then I went down to 6'4", which knocked me. If you look at the goalkeeper there, it says 90 there, but it says 91 there, so I'm nearly 91 basically. I'm a fraction off it, and so that knocked me from 90 to 91 just by doing my traits and by putting my weight and height right. So I had it wrong before. See, I've done a couple of videos where I've had my right build at that specific time, and I did say when I did my last video that I would make an update of that one, because I change all the time to get it right, and it takes time, like I said. But I don't see many of these videos on YouTube about how to do traits and everything on a goalkeeper, and I've not seen many of them on, so hopefully I'll be able to help you guys out with this one, because this one actually works for me right now. But it's between 6'2" and 6'6", but I wouldn't advise going 6'6" to start with. I'd go a bit either 6'2" or 6'4". 6'2", you've got a higher jump in than 6'4", but if you're in competitive, you need to be at least 6'4". But if you're just doing a normal pro clubs thing, you need to be about 6'4". Yeah, that's what I would suggest. You have 6'4". You've got the height, but you've also got you've also got a bit of strength. You've also got the bit of speed as well, and it does help. Now these are the traits I've got on right now. Right, I've got these ones on exactly how I've put them here. I mean, I took any of these off, I'd lose that 91. It'd go to 90. So it's exactly at these traits exactly right. So it's obviously worked. I don't have any in defending. A lot of people do, you see, they'll have them on just 2, but you don't need it on defending. I've got it on obviously agility and balance and things like that, so you do need these on. Your balance and agility is the most important as being a goalkeeper. You don't really need these on, but you have to get these and down here, so they're the ones you need on. Mainly balance and agility, really. That's what you need. I just have them on shooting. That's it. I have all these ones on, you know, your speed, obviously that's the ones I've got them on, and obviously I've got all these ones, so that's what I've got them on right now. A hell of a lot different than the one I had on last time, a hell of a lot different, and it's worked out better for me actually. My goalkeeper's actually getting better, so I'm doing something right. I've also been asked about positioning, what buttons to press. Now I use the right analog stick, basically. Now if you're using, it depends on whether you're using assist, semi-assist. Now if you've only just started being a goalkeeper, I would suggest using assisted, fully assisted. Because not only will it automatically save shots that are close to you, it will help you out in positioning as well. So you really need that on. Don't go as manual and try and walk before you can crawl. It's not going to work. And it's, you know, I hear so many people say, oh, you know, goalkeeping, there's zero ability skill, there's nothing, you don't have to have any skill to be a goalkeeper. Rubbish, absolute rubbish. Them kind of people have no idea because they've never been in that. It's actually a lot difficult. It's most difficult is position on pitch. If you lose, it's your fault. If you win, you know, well played, like, good keeper. But once you lose, you're going to have bad days, you're going to have good days. But obviously I'll explain what you need to know if you're starting out as a goalkeeper. Now, if you just started, you know, 80, 91 goalkeeper, make sure you put all your traits right and your weight right, your height right. Because if your weight and height ain't right, your traits won't work. Certain traits won't work. A lot of people make this mistake. It will actually affect the way your goalkeeper reacts and everything. So you need to get them exactly right. And I've made a few videos on this. and I've been changing it all the time, but hopefully this is the build I'm sticking with now, because it seems to be working a hell of a lot better than my first build I did about a month ago. So like I said, the higher I go in level, so when I get to 92 or 93, whatever goalkeeper you can get, whatever level you can get to, I think it's 92. When I get to 92, I'll probably do an update on my height and weight, but that's it. I won't be changing any traits. It'll be weight and height. I'll be probably changing back. I might go back to 6'6" and things. So, but for now, this is the build I'm using, and this is basically I would start. If you're a starter goalkeeper, you need to start off at 6'4", definitely. You don't need to go any lower or any higher to start, because you're a lot faster. You've got more agility. And I just think all round it's better at that height, to be fair. Doesn't work for everybody. I mean, I would ideally you should be 6'6" in competitive, but the thing is I don't need that, because with experience, you see, I've had experience in leagues, and don't get me wrong, you don't win all games, you're not going to save every shot. But that experience has helped me in positioning, because I use manual. I don't use assisted, I use manual. People forget this. They never ask me, oh, that's assisted and things like that. No, I don't use assisted, I use manual. It's because I feel confident in the ability that I've got as a goalkeeper on the game, that I know I can save these shots, and if I can't, then at the end of the day that's just unlucky. You know, it's look at draw. Say you know, you're saving. People say to me that say on close range shots you can use X and square. I use the analog stick, basically, the right analog stick. And if you're using assisted, all you need to do, it doesn't matter what direction you say if the ball's gone right and you press left on analog stick, as long as you get it on time. So like as soon as they shoot, you press your analog stick straight away. The quicker you do it, you're gonna be like a cat. The quicker you do it, the quicker your goalkeeper's going to save it. The better timing. You've got to get it exactly right. It's all about timing. It's very difficult, but as soon as you get it, that's it. You remember how to do it all the time, and then the more experience you get in net, the better your goalkeeping gets, the better your ability gets in net. So it does happen in time. You're not going to be good straight away. It doesn't work like that. You're going to have days where you think, oh, I'm going to quit. I can't do this. That's when you've got to keep going. Because I mean, I used to think that. I think that a lot sometimes, and I think, nah, I ain't come all this way to quit now. Do you know what I mean? You're gonna come across negative people where you're gonna get people saying, oh, you rubbish this, you this, you that, you this, you know, you this. Just take notice of it. You know, you need to get clean sheets. The clean sheets are very important. Try and get as many clean sheets as you possibly can. Try and get as many saves as you can in a game. Depends on what you're looking for as a goalkeeper. If you want to be like me, you want to be number one. That's what I plan on being, number one. I want to be number one in the world. I think everybody does. That's what I'm fighting for. I've got a load of people fighting for the same thing. But I'm confident. I think the way I'm going right now, the other week I was like 200, then I went up, then a few weeks ago I was 200 in world, then I've gone up to 160, now I'm 130 in world, so I'm going up like 2 or 3 every day. So you know, yesterday I was 132, now I'm 130 in world, so it's going up all the time, because I know that consistency, you see. I know what I need to get. I know I need to get so many clean sheets, I know I need to get so many goals every single day, and I plan it out like that, and then I'm going up the leaderboard like that, because I can see and calculate what I need to do as a goalkeeper to get that progress and achieve that every single day. That's what I've learned over time. That also takes time. I apologise, I'm a bit thingy because I've got a cold at the moment, so I'll probably sound I'm flued up, but I do apologise for that. Right. Basically, the analog stick you need to remember to use, and you need to get it on time. You need to use assisted to start with. Don't try and be manual or semi-assist, because unless you're actually good in net, to start off with, you're not going to be good in net. Not straight away. No one is. I wasn't good in net straight away. It was a bit iffy when I was in net. I was like, I don't know if I can do this, but I started enjoying it. You'll either enjoy it in net or you won't. And if you don't enjoy it, it's not for you. because I mean it's a lonely place. You don't, you know, you only get shouted at on mic if you're doing something wrong or you've made a mistake. We all make mistakes. We're human at the end of the day. Don't be frightened. Don't be scared, or don't be feared of making a mistake, because you're going to make mistakes as a goalkeeper to start with. You're going to make mistakes from lack of experience. That's it. It's like anything else in life. You need experience. Try to start with, so it doesn't affect your ability as a, you know, your stats as a goalkeeper. Try and do lots of friendlies at first to try, because that ain't going to affect your stats, but it's going to give you that experience so you understand where in positioning. I think the most important thing is awareness and consistency. Which I mean is your saves and your clean sheets. You've got to be consistent with that, or you're not really going to achieve anything like that, unless that's what you want to achieve in being in net. Obviously, no one wants to be bottom in world and worst in world. So, but you will have negative people that say, "Oh, you're this, you're that." You know, you've got to ignore that, because they're just unfortunately, FIFA is a very toxic community. I'm in FGL, and unfortunately that's a very toxic community. You know, you get a lot of people you that, and other, and you just got to ignore it, because at the end of the day they're not in net. You're just a target because you're a goalkeeper, and that's what comes with the job. If you can't handle things like that, then don't be a competitive goalkeeper, because it's quite difficult when you have a very negative thing all the time, and you're not going to get positive all the time. It just comes with the territory. I have to accept that, even though sometimes it's very hard sometimes to deal with, but you have to deal with it. You have to find a way of dealing with it, or just ignore it or block it out. See what I do? I stick earphones in that. When you're in competitive games like VPG or VFL and FGO, you need to speak to your teammates, especially if you don't know your teammates that well, and you don't know where your teammates are going to be. Where they want the ball kicking to. You've got to speak to and understand your teammates. You know, the chemistry has to be there. If it's not, then you don't fit in the team. It's not going to work. So don't try and force it, because it's not going to work. If you want to be a decent keeper, you need to find a team that suits you, that you can get into, you get on with everyone. And if you don't, it kind of can affect you as a goalkeeper, to be fair. Especially if you can't block it out. You see, when I'm in teams like that, I've learned from experience, I put music on. I don't need to, a goalkeeper doesn't necessarily need to speak to anybody, as long as he can hear his teammates. And I just stick music on and ignore it all, so I'm not listening to it. It's like I was in a VFL game earlier on, and my manager was saying nasty things about everybody in the team, saying we're a bunch of, you know, I'm not going to say a word, but idiots. Do you know what I mean? Nobody knows what they're doing on team, and I was sitting there thinking, I'm not listening to this. So I stuck some music on and just cracked on, and you know what? We didn't lose a game all night. In his VFL game, we won 3-0 against Fulham. Last season they beat us 3-1, but I was in Cardiff last season. So it's a thing has a way of turning around the better you get, you see, because when I first started FIFA 20, I'm a goalkeeper. I'm good as a goalkeeper, but my pro wasn't very good. He was only like 86, 87 when I first started playing at VFL, the start of 20. So my keepers are getting better all the time, so the tide has a way of turning around. So this is why you've got to be consistent and keep going until you get it right. So you're not going to worry about other people, what other people think, or what other people think of you as a goalkeeper, because at the end of the day, it's a game. You got to have fun, but you've also got to. Depends on what you want to do, really. If you want to be competitive like me, you have to take it seriously. You're not to mess about. You got to take it seriously. You're never going to get anywhere. But if you're having a laugh with your mates, but also remember that you know if you want to take goalkeeping seriously, then your stats, your consistency, and basically that's the main rules I have, really. You're consistent. You have to be consistent as a goalkeeper. You have to have a certain amount of times where you have. I mean, you're going to have losses. There's no way, there's no doubt you're going to have losses, but you're also going to have times where you have game after game after game that you're not going to concede. A goalkeeper, it's not just about how good the goalkeeper is, how good your team is, how good you talk, how good you communicate, how good your defence is. Your goalkeeper is only as good as his defence. There's no doubt. If you've got a rubbish defence, like I've been in teams where they've been too high up. Say for instance, the reason you need to be on a mark, if you just started as a goalkeeper and you just started in a team and you don't know these people, and you start talking, you need to say to them, look, right, you need to say, look, back line, drop back a bit, because you're leaving me exposed at back. You're giving them too much room. Or sometimes they'll play them onside, which can make it even harder when they're rushing back, when the ball's been kicked over, it'll play the opposite team onside. So then they're trying to sabotage you, kind of thing. So that's when you have to speak to your teammates. A goalkeeper has to be in charge of the back four. You have to take charge of it. You say, look, back line, drop back a bit. You're leaving me exposed. You need to tell them, because it's your stats, it's your goalkeeper that's on the line. That's if you're competitive, if you're just in droppings or something like. But to start with, you really just do dropping games to start with, because at the end of the day, they're not that good on there, if you get me drift. They're people that can't get a team, or there's no one online. They just do a drop in, and like they're not really that good. Like, I mean, if you want to get clean sheet, things like, just do drop-ins for a bit till you get better at your goalkeeping, you get a bit more experience, and then go into a bigger team. I mean, people say, I mean, I play net better when I've got a full 11 on. It's quite difficult to use bots, even when the bots are like, pretty high up level. They're still hard to use because they're just slow, sluggy, or they kick it to the other team, they give penalties away. It's so difficult to use bots. I mean, I don't like using bots. I mean, I was in a team earlier on, we got beat 4-1. I was in goal, there was only one guy on the pitch, and he was an any. I mean, I said to him, look, it's just hard work, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff, it doesn't work. It don't matter how many people say, oh, you're this, you're that. I mean, I got messages saying, oh, we're rubbish, this rubbish, that. You got to take the notes of it, do you know what I mean? You got to rise above that rubbish. I'm trying to think what else I can say, really. Don't rush out your box. Don't rush out your box. If there's a 2-on-1 situation, I've said this before. Is a 2-on-1 situation, don't rush out like I've made this mistake before, and I still do it sometimes. It's just instinct. Don't rush out, because I've not said this before, but also if you've got fully assist on, because I don't use assist, so I don't talk about it, and I always forget. But if you've got assist on, remember that it will drag you out the net, because if you don't take when he passes the ball across, you need to take your finger off L1 button, yeah, and move your goalkeeper and quickly put it back on before he shoots, because if you don't, that goalkeeper will be locked on to the person that's just kicked the ball, and by the time you locked over, the other geezer scored. That's where I've gone, where I used to go wrong when I first started. It's a very important rule, because on 2-on-1 situations, it's one of the hardest things as a goalkeeper to deal with, because of the animations, the poor animations on the game. It's slow. It's very slow to change, and because now that's why I don't use assisted, because I don't have that problem anymore. If I don't get I don't save it, which is, it's like 50-50. If you don't save it, then it's just unlucky. But on assisted, I'd be still moving across, big timey shot, and it's slow and sluggy. So if you're using assisted, take your finger off L1 button, use your analog stick to move your goalkeeper across, and then put it back on quickly, very quickly. You got to tap tap like that kind of thing, a double tap kind of thing, really quick. Your goalkeeper will get drawn out. You've also got to watch for that when there's a ball just been kicked over and they've kept him on side, and you've got your one-on-one situation. Do not rush out your net, because in real life you could rush out your net, but you get lobbed over the top. So what you need to remember is stay in your 6-yard box and don't rush out, because you've got more chance of saving it if you stay in your 6-yard box. And people don't realise that. It's very difficult. But don't think you have to be 6'7" and 6'6" to save goals, because trust me, your goalkeeper's going to have more reach if you're 6'2" and 6'4" than he will have if you're 6'7" and 6'6". It's weird like that, but it just doesn't work. You can jump higher if you're smaller than when you're like 6'7", 6'6". I mean, I thought when I first I thought, I'll go 6'7" or 6'6". It don't work. Not for me. It don't. It's just sluggy, slow, and it's not very good, really, to be fair. Yeah, don't let it drag you out at net, because if you're fully assisted, you're going to get dragged out at net, and like, you don't want to be doing that. Take your finger off L1 button. You also remember to keep it on your L1 button as well, because if you don't, you're not going to stay at net. But there is that thing now where at net, if you keep your finger on L1 button and you're looking up the pitch, your goalkeeper's well out at box. You need to watch for that, because the L button doesn't hold you at net anymore. It drags you right out and you'll lose your points. And this is where a lot of goalkeepers have been going wrong. They'll not stay in position because they don't know where to be. So as soon as that ball goes past halfway line, your goalkeeper should be on edge of your box. Drag him right out to edge, nowhere at that half circle there, right in the box there. Look, you see where I'm going there? There, exactly there, and then push right up. Don't go up past the line. Just before the line, stay there until the ball gets really right towards halfway line again, then drag your goalkeeper all the way back again. Or just put your finger on L1 button as soon as it hits the halfway line, and that ball, then your goalkeeper will get dragged back. And that's how you keep your points and your rating in game. If you don't keep an eye on that, you'll lose your points. And if you're losing your points, then you're not doing it right. They need to fix that, because people aren't aware that, and not many people are talking about it, but it does happen, so be aware of that. A lot of people say, oh, you need to save goals. Oh, I use X button and Z and square button and triangle button. No, it doesn't work like that. You see, I don't go past my line, and if you're not careful, your goalkeeper will drag yourself out, as I've just been saying. You just use your analog stick. That's all I use is analog stick, and you know, if I wasn't doing it right, I wouldn't be as good as I am. And I wouldn't say I'm the best yet, but I'm, working on it. It's something I want to achieve on this FIFA. I want to be number one. But that might not happen, but I'm going to damn well try. So, you never say never. Anything's possible if you believe. I always say this to everybody. Everybody that wants to be a goalkeeper, they wants to achieve anything in life. Never give up. If you want to do something in life, do it. Do you know what I mean? As long as it's what you want to do. So if you want to be a YouTuber, be a YouTuber. If you want to do anything, you achieve anything in life. I know it's only a game, but even achievements on games, I want to succeed in them. Like I do in life, I want to succeed in life like anybody does. I want to succeed in everything I do. And that's the kind of mindset I've got, and people don't understand that. Like I said, if you have that, you also, your mindset as well, if you want to succeed in anything, you've got to keep trying until you succeed. But you'll never succeed if you don't fail. You have to fail to succeed, because you have to learn from that. Because if you don't learn from it, you'll never move forward. You'll never progress forward in anything in life, in any game or anything. You have to fail. No successful people, no successful in anything, they've not ever failed, because they have. They've made 1 million fails and only succeeded once, because that's all it takes. So that's what kind of mindset I have. That's how I am about things. That's how I get where I get, because I don't give up on anything. If I want something bad enough, I keep trying to succeed, and that's basically what you need to do in anything in life, really. And people will say to me, "Oh, it's just a game." It's not just a game to me, because I want to succeed in it, like I do in anything I do. So if I were playing Black Ops 4, Black Ops, Modern Warfare, the new one, I'd be trying on that as well, like I am with anything, to succeed in it, to get number one. And don't forget, you've got a load of thousands and thousands of people trying to do the exact same thing. But what I'm saying is, that, and penalties as well. I mean, just recently I've learned a new technique for penalties that I wasn't aware of before, but it's made my penalty saving technique even better than it were before. Now, say if you're using, if you're using assisted, yeah, or whatever you're using, penalties don't make any difference. It's not you're not going to automatically save it. That's what a lot of people don't forget. Forget that even if you got assist on, it ain't going to help you save it. look for the head, because the last update they did, they changed it where as soon as the kicker's kicking it, the head will stop moving in that direction. So it's even harder now for keepers to save it. But you're going to remember, just look at his head. If he's just off the middle, yeah, and he's staying in middle, stay where you are. You can move your keeper to where he's looking. Slightly move your keeper over to make it easier if you're smaller, to make it easier to get it. Hold you, say if your goalkeeper, say if he's going to shoot to right, you think, right, he's definitely going to go to right or to go to left. Get your analog stick and put it in the right position, ready for him to shoot, right? And as soon as he shoots, your goalkeeper's already dived in that direction, which is so you don't have to use your reflexes, you don't have to be quick to dive. A lot of people do that and they make mistake. If you don't get that timing right, your goalkeeper will do the stupid he's gonna kneel to one side. It just doesn't. Can't be asked. But you need to remember to direct it in the right direction. So if you're staying in the middle, stay where you are. Don't. It'll automatically save it. But if you're going to right or left or top right or whatever, just make sure you press it in that direction you think it's going to go, or you know it's going to go, because it's all about thinking and looking. If you don't see it, you don't see his head move, you're not going to know where he's going. But if his head slightly moves to right and then puts back into the middle, that means he's going to kick to the middle. Remember that, because a lot of people think when they see his head go to the left, they think, oh, he's going to the left. He's not. He's staying in the middle. He's making you think he's going to the left. A lot of players will change it at the very last minute, and it's so hard to save them. There's no specific way to save them. It's luck. You either save it or you don't. But they're the techniques that could help you a hell of a lot if you're first starting out as a goalkeeper. Anyway, you kind of need to know them things. And also, if you're in Division 10 and up to about Division 6, there's another technique I use, and I did it in a video. It's one of my secret tricks. No one ever does it. There's only me that does it, and other goalkeepers have actually started doing it, and they've actually thanked me because it does work. It really does work. It helps me out a lot. Say in League Division 10 up to about Division 6, say there's a corner or a free kick, I'll circle round the 6-yard box, like not all the way around it, just circle round the middle to the penalty spot and back again, and penalty spot and back again, and keep going round in circle. What actually that does, it actually the player who's decking the free kick or taking if it's free kick, I go round the other way, round the edge of the all the way around the 6-yard box, or just inside it, go round in a circle. And what happens is, and if there's a corner, I'll do it round the penalty spot and back again, penalty spot and back again, and keep going round in like an half circle, like an egg shaped kind of. I don't know whether people have seen it in my videos, but I do it, and a lot of people say, why do you do that? What it is, they think they've got time to shoot, but what they don't actually realise, a goalkeeper comes back quickly, and as soon as you see him, as soon as they go in to take the kick, yeah, you'll see him being able to take kick. You press your L1 button, and it'll drive you back straight in there. And what happens is, they always think they can shoot or get to goal bar there, and they'll always shoot at you. It works every single time in Division 9, 10, and 7 and 8, and so on and so on. Up to about Division 6 it works. After that, they tend to work that good, but it does happen. It can happen, but you can try it, but it doesn't always work. Or in the lower divisions it does, or drop-ins it definitely works, because they just think they can shoot, and what they don't realise, your goalkeeper can get back pretty quickly if you press L1. So just remember that. It's a very useful trick, and it does work, believe me. I don't know whether anyone seen me do it in my videos, but it really does work. And it's a useful tip. You know what I mean? A lot of goalkeepers started doing that now, and it actually does help them a hell of a lot. And my builds and everything else, it's helped a lot of people as well. And to be fair, that's what it's all about. You see, I have respect for every goalkeeper that's in net on FIFA, on any FIFA, because to me, not only do we have to deal with poor animations, we have to deal with negative, toxic players, and sometimes a game can be unplayable. And you know, a lot of people say, "Oh, why do you buy it then? Why do you play it?" And it's because I enjoy football, and I think everybody that enjoys football plays the game. That's what it's all about. Maybe we all think it's going to get better over time, but that's just not going to happen. You just got to, how do I put it? You've got to work around these negative and these obstacles, and eventually you get to a point where you get numb through all the rubbish, and it doesn't affect you anymore. And that's the time. That's when you'll start progressing as a goalkeeper on the game. Because not only have you've learned from experience to deal with negative and toxic people, and even sometimes I just can't tolerate it anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's unbearable. But as soon as you learn how to deal with it and block them out, delete them, or just ignore it, that's when you'll start progressing as a keeper, because you haven't got that negative. Them people getting in your head saying you this, you that, and this and that, just to affect your game. I mean, I've been playing in competitive leagues and I've had people say stuff to me, the opposite team, saying, "Oh, I'm rubbish this, I'm rubbish that, and oh, you this, you that," and just a bit of banter. And I eventually I just weren't listening to it, and I blocked it out. And they beat us 3-0, and they kept going at me all the time, saying, "Oh, this, that, another, oh, rubbish this, rubbish that." And that day I was having a bad day, and you will have days like that. You'll have days where you'll have a bad day and you'll want to quit. But you've got to remember, being a goalkeeper is not easy, and it comes with territory, and you're bound to have that. Even goalkeepers in real life don't save every shot. It just doesn't happen. It's impossible to do it. So you've got to ignore that. People think it, and I've had people say to me, "It's easy being in net, you need zero ability." Nah, they're the kind of people that annoy me, because they're the kind of people that have never been in net. Because if they're in net, it is not competitive leagues that I play. It's not easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it and everyone would be at top, and they're not. So just ignore them people. I'm trying to think what else I can say that's going to help, really. I mean, timing. I was asked earlier on about timing and positioning. If you've got assist on, you'll automatically be in right position anyway, but sometimes you'll find that you need to take your finger off L1 button. If you don't, you'll be in wrong position, you'll be out of position. So it can be a catch-21 situation, because they did not the last update, the update before, they messed goalkeeper about that much now. They've messed it around, like they've done reflexes on goalkeeper that's met, because when I first played FIFA 20, the goalkeeping were brilliant. When I was an 81 goalkeeper, my goalkeepers dived everywhere. But now they've nerfed it down, and it's I don't know. To be fair, it went for me. It went unenjoyable. I wasn't enjoying it in net for quite a bit. It would when I was in my late 89, 88. I just weren't enjoying it. It was just boring me. No went right at all, and it took me like a month to get the build right, my traits right, because no one was helping me. No one was telling me where they needed to go. I had to guess. And there were no videos up on YouTube, nothing about traits, and it took me a hell of a long time to get it right. And I believe so now. I've got it spot on. I believe so now, because I'm going up and I'm leveling up. Because before I was stuck and I weren't moving anywhere. So yeah, the traits you have to get them right. Trying to think what else I can say. I think that's about it. Oh yeah, goal kicks. say if you're there is another trick as well being a keeper. If say if you're 68 and you need to get a decent rating, and you're getting, like, say you're a 6.5, 6.7. I do it all the time because I don't want to end up with a 6.7 or 6.8 rating. And you get a goal kick, press your L1 and I think it's L1 and circle, and you'll do like a side volley. I think I do it now actually. No, I don't actually. No, I thought I did it then. But you'll probably see it in the video. It's like a side volley, and what that actually does, if it goes in the direction where your players are, you'll get 2 points for it. Sometimes 2 points. So if you're a 6.8, you'll go to a 7.0, and keep doing that as much as you can to get your rating up. And people don't realise that's the reason I do it. See, there's a lot of tricks and tips to being a goalkeeper. It's not just about standing in net, flicking right and flicking left to save it. There's a lot more to it than that. So it's quite complicated when you think about it sometimes. But sometimes you can say if it's a close shot and you're using manual, you can use X and square and that to save it if it does help. Depends on how you've got your button set out. You can go to your buttons also. If you find it's easier to hold R1 instead of L1, or you let your right-handed and your left-handed whatever, you can map your buttons out to what suits you. So if you want to kick ball with X, then you put your buttons to X to kick it. So you can map your buttons out how you want. So it's sorted out that way. No, you can on console anyway. Or change your configuration and swap your buttons around. I think that's about it. I think it is anyway. I think that's it. I can't think of anything else actually. I think I've covered everything actually. Yeah, you just don't forget that it's your analog stick, and it's not just flick left and flick right. You've got to get timing right. As soon as they kick it, if you're holding L1, obviously don't take your finger off L1, because if you do, you're going to flick to it right and left, whichever way it's going. But if you're using assisted, like I said earlier, doesn't matter if the ball's going left. If you press right on analog stick, as long as the timing's right, you'll save it. And you see a lot of these goalkeepers that have got 8 points and 86%. Yeah, it's rubbish. I mean, that when someone says that to me, I'd say that's a load of rubbish, because the only reason someone can have an 8.6 or 8.7 or higher in rating right now in FIFA, after all this, if you played it from the beginning, the only reason you can have that, either you've not been in net very much, you only saved a few shots, or every time you lose you quit out. A hell of a lot of goalkeepers do that. You quit out after if they lose, so they don't lose the rating. That's the only reason you can keep it. So don't listen to when people say they've got an 8.3, 8.6 and then on upwards, because it's absolute rubbish. It's rubbish. But I've got an 83, sorry, save percentage, and to me that's quite good. And I'm actually nearly an 84. I'm like a fraction off it. If I save about 20 more shots and get clean sheets and don't concede any, right now I will be an 84 tomorrow if I have a good night. So, which I'm planning on doing tomorrow. That's what I'm aiming. So at the minute I'm 130 at everything world. Tomorrow I want to aim at 126 in world and keep going up like that. And hopefully February, March next year I should be either in top 100. That's what I'm planning. That's what I'm hoping. I mean, even if I don't get top in world on FIFA 19, I mean, I wasn't this high straight away. And to be fair, I'm actually excited about actually getting to top 100 and moving up quicker than I did last year. You see, from experience from 19, it's followed me on from this FIFA, and it's helped me along, and it's got me better ratings, because I only finished FIFA with 80 save percentage, and I'm in 83 already, and I'm nearly in 84. So you know, that's what I mean about experience in net, and that experience in competitive leagues has helped me a lot. So to help me, you know, being a better player. So obviously, as you can see here, I'm just going through ratings. I mean, there's a lot of ratings on goalkeepers. They've got like 6.8 and 5.8 in net. I've got 7.2. There's not many keepers on that leaderboard in top 100. They've got a 7.2. There's only a few. So, you know, your rating as a keeper is most important, because nobody will want you on the team if you've not got a decent save percentage and a decent rating. They just laugh at you. No one will just want to take you seriously. If you want to be took seriously, you need to have at least an 83 and upwards, or an 80 percentage and upwards. That, otherwise no one's going to take you seriously. They just think you're a joke, and they do. That's how they treat you on here. And I mean, you know, it's wrong. People say to me, "Oh, what are you bothered about rating for?" Because I'm a keeper. That's ratings all you've got. When you're a striker, who cares what ratings you've got, as long as you can kick a ball straight. Which is, I mean, when I've been a manager in YFL, when I was a manager of YFL team, and a co-manager in, I can't even remember what league. I know it was in FIFA 19. I can't even remember what league it was. But anyway, I was a co-manager, and I've been a manager of a YFL team. When I was a manager of YFL Spain, that we never even played a game because they kept messing us about. In league, we're meant to have started a month before, then it ended up starting a month later, and I just gave up waiting, and it never happened. But like I said, that kind of I've had players on my team that have been a 6.4 rating, and I said, look, it don't matter. And they've ended up being decent. They've ended up being pretty decent. They're actually pretty decent lads and that. So rating don't mean anything. You're a striker. Not to me, it don't. It's got the thing. Say if you're a striker, the only thing that matters to you really is your goals and not really your assists. I mean, if I was going to sign a player for, if I was in FGL manager or something like that, I'd actually look at the saves, the goals and assists. So if they've got like 2,000 or 3,000 goals, and like I'd look at the assists, how many times they've crossed it over or passed it for someone else to shoot. That'd be an inkling what kind of a player they are really. So if they've got more goals than they have assists, then that means they're greedy players. I mean, they're not going to pass in front at goal. They're going to shoot, and that's from experience. That actually has been right. So to me, like say if you're a striker, your goals and your assists mean more to you than out. Do you know what I mean? So, and then people say to me, "Oh, why are you bothered about saves? Why are you bothered about percentage? Who cares?" I care. Also, if you don't care about it, then what's the point in doing it? You know, that's the way I look at it anyway. So there is that. When you're a striker, you say your goals and your assists mean more to you than out. When you're at cam or you're in midfield, you're passing and it's your goals. That's what's important. When you're in defence, it's your clean sheets, your tackles. When you're in goal, it's your saves and your save percentage. That's all you've got as a keeper. That's what you've got. I mean, I'm pretty proud of mine. So, you know, it's been a lot better than last year. So it's obviously I'm better from 19. But the thing is though, like I said earlier in video, that you will get times where the animations are that poor. Like you do the Superman dive or Superman punch, which that is a killer. You need to watch for that. That does happen regardless of what you do. It's just the animation. Or you'll go down to pick it up, instead of going down like a normal keeper would go down to the ground and pick it up, or slide and get it to an angle. This you don't. You just run up to it and pick it up like you're running up to like someone's rolled you a ball and you pick it up. It's just stupid animation, but or like you do the stupid legs. You kick your leg out to the side and hope for the best. I mean, they're kind of animations that are just stupid in the game. You got to watch out for them. But sometimes there's just nothing you can do. It will do it anyway. I mean, even when I've been in the right place, I've been in my positioning's been right. I've dived at the right time, and it ended up, instead of diving football, it did a Superman leg move, and you just kick your leg out to the side. And I kept thinking to them, well, what the hell? And I've seen loads of keepers do it. It does happen. You just got to be aware of it. That's all. It's your timing, really. Everything's about timing. If you don't get timing right, your goalkeeper will not dive in the right direction. And also, what you've got to be aware of as well, if you're in friendly games or in competitive games, you have to compensate for the 2 or 3 second delay. The goalkeepers will have I've been discussing about this today in the team I was in, because there was a 2 second delay in the net, because my goalkeeper was diving 2 seconds later after they took the shot. Luckily enough that my goalkeeper recovered and sorted it out. Eventually it did stop happening, but at the very beginning, see, look at that, I'm nearly 91, and my rating's going up all the time. But eventually, when I first started, when I did that 6'6", and I was like 134 pound, my goalkeeper stayed at 90 and he just weren't budging. So I sorted out tricks out, got him right, and it all went all the way round to half, to 90 and a half, and then it now started going round again. So it's I've obviously done it right. So it's just very slow. It takes time to rank up. I've been doing game after game, and because I do a lot of competitive. My goalkeeper just doesn't seem to. He's not ranking up as quick, because I've been doing more. I've probably played more friendly games than I have actually games. You're not going to rank up playing friendly games. You don't get any ratings at all. But also, in fact, you also got to remember is if you get a bad rating in a friendly game, it will affect your ratings on there. I don't know why, but it does. So you need to be aware of that. Always try and get good ratings in a game of 7.2 and upwards. Yeah, I think I've covered everything. Anyway, if I haven't covered anything, I've forgotten anything, please comment down below and I will do another video and explain whatever I've forgotten. I don't think there is anything else I haven't covered, but I hope I've covered everything that you need to know if you're starting out as a keeper. And if you're starting out as a keeper, good luck, and don't give up. Believe in yourself, and don't surround yourself with negative people, otherwise it's going to affect you anyway. Stay positive. It's not easy being a goalkeeper, and like I said, I've got respect for anyone who wants to be a goalkeeper on this game, because I know how hard it's been for me. And it's a journey, and you either want to be a keeper or you don't. So you have to make that decision. If it's right for you, then go for it. But like I said, if you're on PS4 and you are going for that #1 spot, then good luck. That's all I can say. Good luck, because I'm fighting for the same thing, and it ain't easy. So I know it's not. So anyway, guys, peace out. Thanks for watching, and like I said, I hope I've covered everything. And yeah, peace out.